And yes, and we are live. So welcome to a very, very exciting shining the light on our community. We have some beautiful guests here today to join us all the way from the other side of the world for me, because I'm down in Australia. But today we have our beautiful Evelyn and Denise, who are joining us from somewhere up in Canada. That's all I remember. Anyway, thank you both, Denise and Evelyn, for joining us today, for shining the light on our community. Like I said, I'm excited because today we are talking about the business code breakers for soulpreneurs. Something very interesting for me, because we, in our community, we run an empowered entrepreneurs tribe full of soulpreneurs. So looking forward to it. Let me introduce you both first of all. So Evelyn Mulders, wonderful,
Evelyn
from
Mulders.
Yes, of Sound Essence, and Denise of Well Balanced Biogenetic Wellness, are longtime colleagues and good friends since meeting at an advanced muscle testing workshop in 1999. Wow. And Denise, thank you for coming back, because we talked about the muscle testing a little while ago, and now we're bringing Evelyn in to talk about, the business code breakers and your sound essences. So together, you're currently collaborating on a groundbreaking event to support soulpreneurs, highlighting the use of frequency to clear energy blocks in business. And you present it from a perspective unlike anything we've experienced before, which we're going to hear about. And it's so true. We were talking about this in our tribe and with other people. What we don't realize is our energy frequency, what we are vibrating at, all the stuff that's going on with ourselves affects our business so very much. So I'm excited. Thank you for joining us. Now, who's going to start? Tell us a little bit about yourselves, a little bit more, and how you got into this wonderful area.
You go ahead, Denise.
We're so Canadian. You first.
I was just going to put Evelyn on the spot.
Oh, well, I've been working with the sound essences since 1998, and it started with the chakra essences, and I bottled sound. And what I experienced in my clinic is that when I offered the sound vibration to the client after they left my clinic, the next time they came, I was able to go deeper into the work. So the vibrational remedies supported the healing that was affected in the clinic. And because they go back to the environment that created the imbalance in the first place, they had the vibrational support. And my journey, I thought it was a one-off, but my journey has continued now for 25 years. And since I've created the Meridian Essences, which are tuning fork vibration and homeopathic herb, and have moved on to the auric field band, I've got essences to open up the tiny space of the heart so that the tiny space of the heart has the light. And then finally, the archangels. So I'm working in 5 dimensions. So I'm working with the physical, the emotional, the mental, the tube torus, which is the spiritual, and then the hologram. So, I mean, I'm just trucking along, doing my thing. And last fall, Denise says to me something like, do you think that a business has an energy? And I said, I never thought of that before. She says, well, I have thought of it. And she says, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could hone in on the specific aspect of the business that might be missing some vibration, and offer that the sound essence vibrational remedies.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how are we going to do that? But Denise is an architect of menus, and she created this immense spreadsheet, I guess you could call it, that hones in with 7 different categories. I'll let her talk about it in more detail. But all our job is to find out where the missing piece or the broken link in the business is. We offer an emotion to go with it, and then use the sound vibration to support you on your journey. So
Yeah.
maybe Denise, tell us a little bit about the spreadsheet.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Well, what ended up happening for me is I was going through a business reorganization, and I suspected something was up, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And I used to be in corporate for about 30 years. I've been a project coordinator, very good at lists and checking things off. I also happen to have that character trait because of my star sign. So I created a list, and I love the idea that Evelyn's system, which I use in my own clinic with people, that I thought, if I can hone in on an imbalance for a person and help diffuse that using, in Australia, you would call it kinesiology techniques. In Canada, we call it bioenergetics now, because that's the political climate. So same thing, just different word. So if I could do that for people, could that happen for my business? And I thought, let me create some kind of a scan list and organize it. Like Evelyn loves sevens. So I organize it in a system of 7 different aspects. And I said, Evelyn, you're going to need to do this for me. And so there's a category of human resources, because every company has energy inputs, from the owners to your managers to the people who deliver the mail. And then there's sales, obviously, and marketing and finance, and there's your clientele, your customer base. There's these different aspects, and under each category, there could be numerous aspects. And last time I counted, I was pretty confident, and we've been told we have a very comprehensive, substantial list to go to any small or medium-sized business with 370 different types of aspects that could be out of balance. And when we connect with the owner and have permission to read their business, we can put our finger on and say, what's going on with this word or this phrase? And most of the time they roll their eyes and laugh and go, how did you pick that? Because we have spent a few years working in this manner, but we also train other people. So I'm an instructor of different systems. Evelyn's actually a faculty member for the International Kinesiology of Professional, called International College of Professional Kinesiology Practitioners. So in our world, there's so many variations of those couple of words. So we know how to train people to do this. And we just wanted to create a system, first of all, for me. Yes. And I said, Evelyn, you need to take the system and provide it to people who already buy your essences so that they can create a sideline business for themselves, that they could even run over Zoom. So that was my part, but the magic happens because of Evelyn being an alchemist. She knows how to blend different frequencies. So you just carry on from there, my dear.
Yeah. No, and it's wonderful. And it's so, I said, it is so interesting because I'm personally a sound practitioner. I know the healing benefits personally for individuals and for bodies on sound and emotions and stuff like that. But you beautiful women take it to a whole different level, a whole thing to everything that you're doing and to help entrepreneurs with it all, and to being able to unblock their frequencies, their business frequencies. It must be an amazing thing. It really, really must be. And as you were talking, Denise, to the blind spots that we have so much in our lives, and let alone in our businesses, we're not aware of things that we're doing or not doing, but other people are. And if you can tune into that, no matter where you are, that's incredible. So tell us more, Evelyn. Tell us more how this whole journey is continuing and what are the benefits that people can experience with it.
Well, this business code breaker for Soulpreneurs is pretty new. We started it in January, February. So we've got a few reports, but I mean, there's nothing closer to home than your own story. And Denise, I said, finally, I said, I need a balance. I have the college, I teach students, the International College of Professional Kinesiology practice, I'll just say it properly, and the Sound Essence, and then this other business. And so Denise, like, we've known each other for 25 years, and so she knows me pretty well. And so she's being clear, and she finds my blind spot, and she says metrics. And I couldn't even repeat the word. So I knew that there was a big block. So I had no clue what it meant. And I said, is that like keeping track of things? And she said, yeah. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to MailChimp and seeing how many people open. I don't care. Well, there's other places you can go. And I said, no, I'm not interested. And I was witnessing my resistance to her poking around in my business and finding out where my weakest link was. And so finally she was gentle. And so she decided to let me off the hook. She says, okay, well, let's go to a different category. What came up again? I don't know how, but it came up, the same word in a different category. So she must. So I was really obstinate at that point. And so I settled in a little bit, and she says, well, do you have a way of keeping track of your customers? And I said, no, but that's been irritating me because my business has grown so much. I can't keep track of anybody anymore. And I wasn't sure how to do that. So I scratched my head, and she had all kinds of techno savvy ways of doing it, but I'm still kinesthetic. My files sit on my table, and I know exactly where to find them. So I needed to do it so I said, I'm going to go to PayPal, and I'm going to print out all those sheets, and then I'm going to put a binder together. Okay, she says. So I did. I made that a project. And within 2 days of me finishing it, I had 3 of the largest orders that I've got in 1 week. And I actually did not even make any phone calls. It was just the shift of the vibration that brought the orders in. And I'm so proud of my binder, my book now. And when I'm feeling like I'm in the mood, then I can just open it and go to somebody and make a gentle call. And I'm overwhelmed with the liberty of that. So that's my story.
Mm-hmm. And isn't it amazing how just that one action can change the energy? In
setting an intention. Yeah,
setting
that's
the
what
intention.
we do. We set the intention, and then we add the vibration, and then we just wait for the manifestation.
Yes, yeah, it's incredible. So how does the actual, like the sound essences, well, I'd love to know more about the sound essences and all the other essences that you create, like the actual making of them, but how in reality, how does that help businesses? What do they do from sound essences to overcoming blockages?
It's all through vibration, Sophia.
Yep.
It's just a shift of vibration. And we all know, and when you shift your perception, you're shifting your vibration. And coming back to my personal story, my resistance to what Denise was finding, I was witnessing myself giving her some trouble. And I was watching how I was not wanting to even look at this matrix, recording anything, trying to snoop around and see what's going. I was so resistant. And then how it gently opened up, and I was able to move much freer with that. So I'm not sure if you're asking about how did I get the sound in the bottle, or are you asking about how do vibrations work on a business?
Both. Both. So yeah, how do you get sound in a bottle? And then how does that sound in the bottle affect affect the vibration in businesses?
Well, it's actually quite a miracle because I don't know where to start. I'll give your listeners something fun to think about. So a water molecule is, if you can think about a Mickey Mouse head, it's got a face and 2 ears. That's a water molecule, H2O.
Yes.
It's the largest surface area of any other molecule on our planet. And knowing that the water molecule can take on, well, it's the largest solvent, it takes on anything, even vibration.
Mhm.
So all I did is program the water with sound, and I knew how to do that. Well, I guess I didn't know how to do that, but I just intuited how to do that, following what I know as a flower essence way of making essences. So I programmed the water with sound, and then I was simply guided to add other frequencies. For example, the chakra essences have 7 vibrations for the 7 senses. And so each one of the bottles has sound, color, crystals and gems, sacred geometry, ancient symbology. The positive words had to be written on them in a specific blend of aromatherapy to affect that chakra. And so you're offering the body, what would you call that? Full spectrum vibration, really.
Yes.
And so it's not just working with
Wholeness.
one aspect of the sense. You're not just working with smell, with just aromatherapy. You're not working with just your eyes, with just color. You're working with all 7 of your senses, because that's all in the bottle. And that's really the miracle of it, because vibration is like a lock and a key. If the vibration goes by and there's no way of absorbing it, it'll just keep on going. But if there's an opening for it and the body needs it, it just takes it right on.
Yes. Yeah. Totally. I've experienced that personally, especially with sound. You know, I've had some dramatic healings with sound. So I know the power of that. And how do we do that with our businesses? What's the next level? And I don't know, you know, Denise, if you have anything that you'd like to add to what Evelyn is saying, that, you know, we can take that, you know, we have this blockage in our business, whatever it may be, let's say customers. We're not getting many customers in. How do we use the sound essences to unblock any aspect of our business?
Well, when I've worked with clients,
Yes.
they'll come with a goal of, I want to grow my business by 25% in a certain number of months, or they want something else, but something measurable, usually. And then we work with them and say, is that really what you want or what you think you should want? And when you get that, what's that going to allow you to do in your life? So sometimes the goal they come with isn't actually the goal we end up balancing them on.
Yeah.
So then we get something where their eyes light up. They go, that's what I want. That's why I want the 25% increase in my business, is so I get that. Is
Yes.
that really possible?
The outcome.
So we get their energy field vibrating at that level and visualizing it, if they can visualize, or just sensing it in some way. And then we dive in and ask the system what aspect's out of balance. And like your message, or what you just prompted me with, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, out of 370 aspects, 2 of my clients have come up with attracting the right clients versus the wrong ones. And that has made so much sense to them, because they're going, oh yeah, there's that client that I have to spend all kinds of time and energy on, and they never pay their bills on time. And I kind of want to fire that client, but eventually they pay the bills. But I want more of the other kind of client. That's just really, they're open, they're trusting, they like working with me. And, you know, whatever their perfect client is, I want more of them, and the kind that pay on time, right? So when you get them thinking, by attracting the right customer, it will grow your business. Can you see that happening? And they went, oh, I could work all day if I had the right customers. I could just hear the phone ringing right now saying, can you solve my problem? And when they're in that state, and we then send them the sound frequencies, even over Zoom, it doesn't have to be in person, they go, ah. And I remember watching you, Evelyn, when you finally said matrices. What are matrices? And I'm going, metrics, Evelyn, metrics. It's just like measure something, anything. I don't care if it's a stick count, how many people you've called this week, count something. And he's going, and then when she had the frequency around her, she's going, oh, I can do that. Like the whole shift in her face and her body posture, it was so remarkable. And I've seen that over and over and over with people that I have supported them with something or put my finger on something, and they laugh and they go, really? Like one of the first girls I invited in to help me test when I was practicing the new system, the way I had to laid it out, said, okay, this is it. This is ready for prime time. We're ready to let this out in the world. Invoicing came up and I went, surely you have an invoicing system. And she goes, oh yeah. She had the oddest look on her face. And I'm going, I asked her 2 or 3 questions, and finally I went, do you like invoicing people? And she's like, no. And I'm going, you do know that's how you bring money into your business, right? And she goes, yes. So we had the biggest laugh over something so simple. So it was about, when she was finished, she says, I feel joyous now thinking of sending out. And so she got back to me. She says, I'm joyful now when I send out an invoice, knowing I'm going to get paid. Yeah. It's instead of it being a ugly, yucky, I don't like to do this little task, she completely changed the energy around it. And it made a profound difference for her.
I just had a thought, and I totally understand, get that when you just change your perspective, change the energy. And you're mentioning someone who doesn't like invoicing. I talk to so many people who don't like social media. Imagine what would happen when we can just shift that whole energy around, because social media has become such a big part of our lives, especially if you have a business. It's one of these things that you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't type of stuff. But just shift that whole energy around, like, I don't like social media, I don't like whatever. It can be incredible. Or can I bottle you both? Like talking about bottling sound essences, can I bottle you both and continue? So you definitely, I said, and we were talking a little bit before, we could talk for ages, but you definitely do have to come back to go into the different parts of things. I'd love to know more and things like that. But when we will be putting your links in the comments for everyone who is watching, but until that happens, tell us a little bit about any programs that you're running, or how can people actually contact you? Because I do know that you've got an event coming up soon.
Yeah, it's coming up this Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I'm supposing that's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in Australia time. And we're really excited about it because we spend the first day with an hour of having everybody experience the 7 senses. I know we talk about 5 senses, but we introduce the other 2 senses. So you get a real experience with the senses. And then day 2, we introduce the vibration, the idea of vibration, and how that enhances your well-being. And then finally on day 3, we pull it all together so you can see how it's done with the business code breaker balance inside of a business. And so it's a free event, and it's an hour investment for each day, but you get an experience. We're gifting you that experience with an awareness. Have you got something else you'd like to add that I may have missed, Denise?
Well, it's totally a master class. It is not a salesy, gimmicky thing at all. It's about learn about it. And Evelyn shares from her heart and her exquisite experiences of how she created them. So to answer your question, Sophia, the fastest way to get that information is to attend the Code Breaker event that will be found on the link that's shared with this podcast or this broadcast.
Yes, we will be putting all your links in. Yes,
totally. And then what happens after that is for people who are intrigued, and this has been brought to our attention a couple of times. We are inviting soulpreneurs. Anybody can come, but soulpreneurs are coming to this event with the idea that maybe they want to become facilitators. And then they can then offer this service to any small to medium-sized business in their network, and it would be a way to add to the services. So
Mhm.
we're not going to be hard on sales on that, but it's just to introduce people that this can be done.
Yeah, that you can not only help yourself and help your own business, but to help others, and to make it part of the services that you're offering. I'm very definitely interested, and I will do my utmost to come. Even on the time zone, I'll figure out what the time zone it is, and we'll be right. The changes, but definitely. And tell us a little bit more before we wrap up. What are some other benefits? Evelyn, if you'd like to start, what are some of the other benefits that some of your clients have experienced through using this whole system in for their businesses? Because our community is full of entrepreneurs, and I talk to a lot of people who go, I've got this little problem and that little problem. What are some of the other benefits?
Well, it varies with every single person that comes. It's very personalized, and I think that's what's so beautiful, is that the system is not, you do this first, this second. It's tailored to whatever the client needs. I had one client, she had to work with another group. I think it was an association, and she was getting a little bit of conflict there, and it was more work for her to involve herself in that organization than she was willing to prepare. And so she came for a balance. And within 2 days, she emailed me back and said, something happened in the organization, and those people left and a new group have come in, and it's working out so beautifully. I can go with the flow. And before I leave you, I had a fun giggle in my heart. I wanted to tell you that even though the bottles, they just look like bottles with, liquid.
We can't see them. You have to put it in front of you because of the green screen. Put it in front of your, a little closer to your chest.
There you go.
There we go.
I'm learning.
It's okay.
One of my first experiences with another colleague of mine in the States, she was using the sound essence in her practice as a healing practice. And she phoned me, and she's very vocal. She was actually screaming on the phone in delight. She was working with clairaudient people. And so they could shake the bottle, and they could put it by their ear, and they could tone the sound that's in the bottle. So it's real. The vibration there, it's just our ears can't hear it, but the body understands.
The body can. Yeah. No, I totally agree with you that with that, the body can experience to connect to any vibration, even if we can't physically hear it or feel it or anything like that. Yeah. I love it.
Put the intent with it, and just wait for the gift.
Thank you. Thank you so very, very, very much for sharing that. It's nice. And Denise, what about you? Any final words before we wrap up on, just anything else that you've experienced, some of your own benefits or your clients' benefits of this amazing system?
Well, me personally, the phone started ringing off the hook when we started training facilitators, and we do a little energy balance at the end of the session to tie everything up for everybody in the group with a goal that benefits everybody. My phone's been ringing off the hook. It's just been almost too much. And I wasn't expecting that to happen. But I'm just so proud of having met Evelyn, having this, established a relationship with her over these years, because she has something really special. I've seen other people try to bottle sound. I go to my metaphysical bookstores wherever I'm at, and their products are nice, but they don't resonate at the same frequency. And that's why when I knew I needed a shift, I needed somebody to do something, but nobody I know works the way I do in my own clinic. But I knew that Evelyn's essences would make short work of clearing any blockages. So this is what I'm just so happy to have created this collaboration for this event.
Both ways.
Thank you. Thank you ever so much. And I can actually feel the vibration coming through here of you both. And even though, you know, it's through technology, we're on the other side of the planet. It really is amazing, the vibration. I can just feel that your energy right now.
Shall we send off some Joe Fiel for you all then? To finish off. Here we go. There you
Tell
are.
us what Joe Fiel supports us with.
Oh, it's all about your creativity and your talents and looking for that sparkle and whatever it is that you're doing.
Thank you. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you both for coming on. Definitely will be putting your links in. I'll definitely be coming to your program next week as much as I possibly can. And I look forward to talking with you more again. And any time in the future, please do come back. It has been an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. It's been a joy to be here with you in the group.